So we got the Voltic, we got a Penetrator, we got an Entity XF, a Tempesta, or is that the Reaper? I can never tell them apart. I feel like it's a Tempesta. We got the 811, interesting emblem. The Nero Custom, Tyrus, GP1, Cheetah, Cyclone. What the hell is this? Tyrant? Tyrant. The Vagner, the Autarch. There's the Reaper. The Sultan RS, the Infernus, the Banshee 900R, Itali GTB Custom, X80, T20, Zentorno, Osiris, SC1, Taipan, Visione, Turismo R, and RE7B. Those are just the cars that are here. But we got basically one race, 30 different cars, 30 different supercars, all in one race. We got 30 different supercars in this race. All supercars have their own set start time. The Voltic is starting first at 1 minute on the timer, and then everybody else starts after that. The next one will be the Sultan RS with like 2 minutes 59 or something. So the Voltic gets a massive head start. It's an hour-long race, and by the end, everybody should have basically, it should all basically close up by the end. So there goes the Voltic, and we're gonna have a long wait until the next drivers. Basically, before the Vagners start, like we got the Vagner, the Autarch, the RE7B are all going to be starting last, obviously. But the Voltic will have already done one lap before they even get started. There goes the Sultan RS at 2:59. Then it's the Taipan. And then we should start to get cars starting a lot closer to each other now. The Voltic had the biggest difference, basically, because it's so slow around North Loop. As you can see, all these different cars in one race. This has to be unique. This has to be a first. Having 30 different unique supercars in one single race. So those are the sort of gaps that we have. There's the Voltic already on the second half of the lap. Then we got all these. Alright. Now it'll be my turn. 5 minutes 34 on the timer. That's when I go. Those are the cars that we've got left. There we go. And away we go into the race. So obviously this is the kind of race where it, you know, the action normally happens in races at the start of the race where everybody's bunched together. But in a race like this, the action is going to happen at the end of the race because everybody's going to bunch together at the end of the race rather than the start. Because we're staggering the start based on the speed of each car. This isn't a new concept by any stretch of the imagination, staggered start races. Shout out to Osiris, who often does this in his playlists, and Brady, who does his 1 hour magic events in Nodo. This is a Nodo event, just a one-off that I've done for this, but the concept of having sort of 30 unique supercars in one single race is unique, but it's using the same staggered start format that, you know, other things are doing, other events and all that kind of stuff. So the reason that I've also chosen the North Loop for this is that this event is kind of, with the staggered start style, it's reminiscent of the Gran Turismo 4, one of the hardest events that was in that game, on the Nordschleife in the Mercedes. I got a video of that on my channel from like 2008 or something, but it's the same idea as that. I'm in the Itali GTB Custom because it's the last vehicle that I used on this track in the Supercars class in a proper racing event, I guess you could say, with the MCEC 10th round of the MCC. And yeah, there's not a lot that's really going to happen in the first couple of laps. There's big gaps. Every single car has a big gap to the car behind it, mostly anyway. Things like the T20, the Zentorno, the Osiris are all starting very close together. But I have a big gap to people ahead of me, big gap to people behind, so... The idea being that by the end of the race, I mean it's obviously driver dependent, but by the end of the race everybody will have the chance to win if you've driven a good enough race, and it will all close up at the end. You'll have to defend from faster cars and all that good stuff. It'll be interesting to see which car wins. That's what I'm most interested in. I'm probably not going to win. I'll be okay. I'll be happy with like a top 10 or something. But I'm really intrigued to see which car is going to win. The Vagner will be starting at the 7-minute 55 mark on the timer. So the Vagner will be starting 6 minutes 55 seconds behind the Voltic. And that is to account for the pace difference that the Vagner has over the Voltic on the North Loop in an hour-long race. But because of that gap, both the Vagner and the Voltic should theoretically have the same chance to win the race. Okay, first lap down, 11 more to go. Now I've had one disconnection. It's unfortunate. So we've no longer got 30 different supercars in the race, just 29. Obviously driver skill is going to play a part in this, you know, probably more so than anything else. The staggered starts are so that anybody can theoretically win if they do a good enough race, but the best drivers should still win, you know, come out on top. That's the idea. And there are some very, very good drivers in this race, but you know, it's just a race like any other. Anything can happen. You can have some crashes, you can make some mistakes. It's an hour-long race, so we'll just see how it turns out at the end. Oh, was that the SC1? No, that was the Reaper. That was the Reaper that I've just passed. That had made a mistake. So there's our first overtake, and that's the thing. Like, if you're in one of the slower cars and you have a few mistakes early on, your chances get so less and less to be able to actually do anything, because you're then doing an uphill battle. You're having to catch up to quicker cars, which is just, you know, an impossibility. But like I said, this is what it's all about. It is a race, so people's individual performances are going to play a part in what happens, more so than car performance as well. That was the Infernus, and has gone, so actually gained a place from that disconnection. The Infernus was still ahead of me. Okay, I've got an X80 behind me. It's caught me up nicely. The X80 is slightly quicker than the Itali GTB on this, that's why it started later, but the reason that I've been caught up so much quicker is because Merfos is driving it, and he's just a much better driver than I am. So, I mean, it is within my interest to still, you know, defend for as long as I can, but don't think it's, yeah, well, there you go. It's over. So, had one overtake and been overtaken once early on. There's a big train of cars ahead. It's closing up, at least in this section already. Big train of cars. You can see them all on the map. Coming up against a Cheetah. I've got a T20 and an Osiris. Sorry, I don't know why I said T20. Got an Osiris behind me. Again, another very quick driver. in a quicker car than I have. So it will probably only be a matter of time, just like it will probably also only be a matter of time before I pass this Cheetah. Maybe I can do it on the straight. That's the top speed difference. Is that the RE7B about to go straight on? It is. Obviously the North Loop's dual section, meaning we see some cars at different periods. Yeah, this Osiris could end up battling for the victory with the X80, I think. Depending on how the sort of the Vagner and the Autarch do. Had the grip to go around the outside. Nicely done. That's the thing, when, you know, the different cars are going to have different strengths and weaknesses against others. Like the Osiris had the grip there to be able to go around the outside of a Itali GTB Custom. Which, yeah. The Osiris is a better car. We've got the Taipan. Discovering the Taipan already. That's not good news for the Taipan. This is the crazy thing. You're getting passed by faster cars, but also passing slower cars at the same time. It's really weird. It's really cool. There's one other disconnection from somebody. So the Voltic is still in the lead. The Banshee 900R is in second. That's the thing, you sort of don't know what anybody else has done in their race. Like the Voltic could have crashed 3 times and is guaranteed to lose the race because he's lost so much time, but it's impossible to know until the end of the race. Like we just don't know with him being out there all on his own at the front. Osiris is trying to make his way past whatever this other car is. Allowed me to catch up. That's the thing, if you're in the faster cars, you've still got to negotiate and overtake the slower cars. Oh! And crashes like that can happen. Thankfully, I've stayed out of trouble. That's kind of been my game plan for this race. Just stay out of trouble and see where I end up at the end of the race. Rather than, like, say, throwing it away by getting involved in a crash or making a mistake or something. I think I've got a T20 behind me now though, so again it's going to be the same thing as with the Osiris. It's just very difficult to keep it behind with the extra grip that it has and the extra speed overall. And the better driving, of course. I never claim to be one of the top drivers in the game. I just enjoy it and I have my moments. I think that's the best way to describe it. So the Osiris has taken a bit of a hit in its pursuit of the X80. Now the nearest challenger to the X80 is the T20. Still more than half the race to go. Osiris is back. There's the Voltic. Gonna be going straight on rather than turning left. Still in the lead. And I'm up against a Penetrator ahead. Top speed should help me here. Yeah. Again, I just don't have the grip. I don't have the cornering speeds that these other top cars do, so it's so hard to... You know, like what happened earlier, the Osiris could just go around the outside. Or pull on the inside a bit easier like that. It's really interesting. Beautiful sunset on the North Loop as always. This piece of the track is always nice for that. Just that little section there. And another train of cars going up the hill. The T20 that we saw earlier has just caught up to, and the Osiris is giving chase to. You never know what car you're going to come up to next. In terms of what's behind you, in terms of what's ahead. Oh, there's a Vacca. Must have had a mistake or got involved in a crash or something. That's the Vacca dispatched. That's the thing, there's some cars that we might never see in this race. Like the Autarch starting, say, right at the back. If it doesn't do a good enough race, then it might not catch up to me before the end of this race, and we'll never see it. So you just never know how it's gonna go. Something else has caught up to us pretty quickly. Oh, come on. When you're in a race like the MCC and you're just driving against other Itali GTB customs, you don't really sort of notice the lack of grip that this car has. But when you're trying to go up against things that have much better grip, you very much notice. This is an FMJ behind me, I'm pretty sure. And the thing with the Itali GTB Custom is that it's not too bad at the higher speed stuff because it does have downforce. I mean, it doesn't have much downforce, but at least it has something, which makes it okay in higher speed corners. But then you get to the slow fiddly little bit, or any slow speed corners in general, and you're just a sitting duck. Got a Sultan RS ahead of us. We got a Sultan RS behind us. Just don't have the grip. Come on. Come on. Keep it. Trying my hardest to defend. FMJ is one of the grippiest cars in the Supers class. It's got incredible traction. One of the old breed of grip cars as well, not downforce. Yeah, really poor exit onto the back straight there. I'm trying to keep my nose in, but the FMJ's got some good top speed as well. I'm not going to be able to do him on the brakes. Good fun. Good though. This is good fun. Because meanwhile, we're still catching the slower cars all the time. I think I started in like 15th or 16th place. The Itali GTP custom was basically right in the middle of the order for the list of cars. So all things being equal, I should finish, you know, right in the middle of the order. If I have a good race, I'll finish top 10. If I have a bad race, I'll finish bottom 10. I think that's the measure that we can use for this. Alright. Come on, Itali, give me some top speed. Catch up to this Cyclone. Yeah, the Cyclone's got nothing in terms of top speed. Might not be able to get him before the braking zone though, and he's going to have some good acceleration coming out of the corner. Yeah, he did have some good acceleration coming out of the corner. Voltic is still in the lead, but it's only, what, 20 seconds ahead of the Banshee 900R. And then we've got Murphos in that X80 is now in 3rd place. The Osiris is now 5th, T26th. Horst in 4th place is in the SC1, I believe. Still going to close up, even though I've been passed by people who are going to go on to sort of battle it out for the win. That top group is all going to close up as well. There's a big train of cars ahead of me right now. Banshee 900R has just taken the lead. Voltic. The Voltic has succumbed the lead on the 9th lap. So we got the Visione behind us now. Good grip in the Visione. Quick in the top speed as well. Again, this will be another matter of time. Quarter of the race left to go. I just don't have the grip. Okay, that was a bit... that was a bit... I mean, I couldn't, where was I meant to go there? I just don't have the grip. Like, he's coming round the corners at such a higher speed than I can, like exiting and going round them. That's why he was hitting me in the back. Because I just can't. I just don't have the grip to be able to deal. See? It's one of those things where, you know, as the chasing car, you're better off just backing off and then carrying the speed around. The X80 has now taken the lead on lap 10. Like, you know you've got so much more grip than the person in front. You can't carry the same cornering speeds as them, so you shouldn't follow them so close. You should just back off and carry the speed around and it'll be an easy overtake using the exit speed. But never mind. That's not helped me when it comes to chasing down that big group that we're all battling up ahead of us. I mean, this is the nature of this kind of racing, I guess. You've got to be aware of how the car is different to what you're racing against. Couldn't do it. If I'd continued that going, I would have ran him out way too wide. See, the Zentorno did it straight away, exactly what I was talking about. Just backed off, waited for me to lose grip and understeer because I don't have it, and then pulled to the inside and pass. I don't know what happened to the Visione, he must have made a mistake or something. Oh, that's a Vagner. Okay, it's getting tasty. Like, I'm trying my best to defend and do what I can, but there's only so much you can do. And in reality, if I'm getting involved in crashes, I'm hurting my own ability to catch up to people ahead in the slower cars. Oh, Wagner's got so much grip. Come on, Visione, you know what you gotta do. Back off. Ugh. Stop hitting me in the back! God damn it. He's got so much more grip. This has to be it, surely. At this point, it would just be better. It would have been better for my race just to let him through. Like, I can't do that. I can't bring myself to do that. As a racer, I want to, you know, battle and do the best that I can to keep a position. But it would have been better for my race to just let that Visione go when he first came up behind me. I would have been much closer to the slower cars that I'm trying to catch up to. I think that could have sealed my lack of a top 10 position for this race, potentially. Those incidents. I'm much further behind that train of cars now than what I was. That contains some of the slower vehicles. Okay, well, I'm back ahead of that Visione again, and the Zentorno now after they got involved in that accident. And now we've got Amarogco ahead of us in the Entity. Which was the car that I started behind, really. The Entity started a few seconds up the road with the Turismo R. but basically one position ahead. The Entity is kind of the polar opposite to what I'm driving right now, I guess. Doesn't have much in the way of top speed, but it's got all the grip. I'm the opposite. Oh, it's painful, that final hairpin. Both the hairpins are painful in this. Just can't carry the same type of cornering speeds that these other cars can. I just can't do it. Okay, go. Leave me alone. Leave my back end. Oh, I'm catching back up again. See, this is where my car has the advantage on the straights. That's where I get my speed from, but I can't carry the cornering speeds. There we go. That's someone else behind me as well. Oh wow, I didn't even register that this was the last lap. So the X80 has gotten the win. Oh my god! Make it stick! I went for it! I've done that before on the MCC, like season 1 or something. It was beautiful. Now that I know it's the last lap, I'm gonna try my best to keep this Zentorno behind me. Since I'm not gonna have to do it for much longer. But it's gonna be tough in the twisties. Ah! Can't do it. Couldn't do it. That little clip didn't help, but too much grip in the twisties. This is the worst part of the track for me. Well, pretty average, I would say. Not top 10. Not bottom 10. Finished where I guess I started, there or thereabouts. Some good moments. The ballsy line right at the end was probably the best moment of the race, to be honest. That overtake. So we had the X80 winning it. The Osiris was in second place. Banshee was in third. T20 in fourth. Vagner in fifth in the end. FMJ sixth. The Voltic still managed to make it into the top 10. It was all those hits with the Visione that meant that I couldn't get into that top 10. I think that's what did it, but that was fun. That was fun to do something, you know. That was fun to do something a bit different and see all the different cars racing against each other. GG Murphos in the X80. There we go. Vagner with the best lap as expected. Vagner from the back of the grid to 5th. That's pretty good. Banshee 900R from the front of the grid, managing to hold on for 3rd. That's pretty good too. And then the X80, the Osiris and the T20 were all kind of in that middle group, I suppose. So we had a decent little representation.